Welcome on 8:30, 24th of the 9th, 2025, 3/4 the way through the year. And it's the final show of this incantation, the best of the rest. You've tried everyone else, but we're the best. So we are joined by three established superstars of the YouTube world. We'll start off looking like she's come back from casing Zach Merritt's house. The lovely Fiona, how are we doing?
Hey, don't go get me getting arrested, all right? I'm on borrowed time here. I've got to just case all the players out. I'm officially a Geelong supporter this week. So SARS, yes. I've kept the channel red and black, but I'm blue and white inside here. I'm in black, a tush, because last week I was in red and this week I'm in black. So I'm theming.
Genuinely, though, you do look like one of them paparazzi that's about to take a picture of, someone.
100%.
Like out the front of James Hurd's house.
You think I was joking? I've just come from Albert Park, mate.
like every time this week Zach Merritt's had a shower, he's just seen a Fiona-shaped silhouette.
I reckon he would have seen a little laser dot sight on him if Fiona was out the front of his house.
Hey, I don't know why I'm getting the bad rap here as the criminal. Jeez.
Well, you've dressed the part, Fiona.
Well, no, this is actually the Essendon top. I'm actually merching, people. This is an Essendon top. I just put a hat on because there's a bird about to fly out of my hair. It's so dirty. It's a nest.
It feels like if there was a rumour mill that you and me were in Berwick 20 minutes ago, casing a house. What?
We're all spending a lot of time in Berwick, it seems, at the moment.
it is when there's a big robbery. People are going to come to me.
An alarming amount of time in Berwick.
It is. But also joining us to fill out the masculinity of this show. I need another man, a rose between two thorns or a thorn between two roses. I'll let you decide. The great man himself, BigFooty Tigercast on. How you doing, mate? Are you all good?
Yeah, going good, thanks. It's always good. Grand final week. It's always exciting to have, it's just a big occasion. You've got the live site going on, and there seemed to be some pretty good attendance there today, which was good. So it's all fun and games. Unless your team's not in it, then it's shithouse, like all of us.
Well, I mean, I've got to say, you're the only one on this panel that's ever experienced this day when they're legally allowed to drink. So,
yeah. Well, for the 2017 one, I was drinking Canadian Club at Crown Casino by 10 a.m. and we won $300 on roulette before the day even started. So that was a pretty good outing. But it was one of those days where I thought, you know what, it's a special day. We'll drink a little bit earlier. And then it was fun after party afterwards.
Sophie's right. There is free flags in 10 years on this panel. Shame they're all in the same area, isn't it? But I mean, talking about flags, someone who joined me in saying flags are incredibly overrated. It's all about the vibe. She is the mistress of the vibes. Kanga's own Marnie from Kanga TV. Marnie, how are you doing?
I'm great. I love grand final week, despite the fact that North Melbourne never feature. Still get around the festivities nonetheless. We were talking earlier today. We have a bumper show planned for you all. I personally can take no part in saying that I prepared anything other than bringing the vibes. So hello from the vibes.
All you got to do is bring the vibes. All you got to do. And talking about vibes, the amazing, the gorgeous, the fantastic, says 1864 in the PommyinOz chat is 21 again. It's her birthday today. So her birthday evening, she's watching us.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. She just yelled at me for calling her SARS. So sorry
SARS.
and happy birthday.
What wasn't SARS COVID before COVID?
It was, yeah.
Yeah, but I have a friend who goes by SARS, as in her name's Sarah, so we call her SARS.
How fucking posh are your mates? Like, Jesus.
How's that posh? That's shortening a name.
SARS. What's her real name?
Sarah.
That has I have a white pony for Christmas when I was 7 written all over it.
This is very judgy. First, you judge my clothes, then should I just leave while I'm ahead?
No.
Judging my
Fiona,
friends?
I am the same with you, same as you. I don't have any friends called Sarah, but if I did, I would be on the Sarah's bandwagon as well.
Exactly. It's just an affectionate. We just call her that affectionately, like we call Marnie Marns.
Yeah.
I get called a lot of 4-letter words, but never my name shortened.
Do you want to list us some, or maybe after a certain hour?
It's your channels that I'll get demonetized, not mine. I don't know. Do you know what I mean? I don't care. But we have got a big bumper show to start off with. And we're going to start off with the controversy of the year. And that is the amazing Brownlow that was. And you'll see there that we've got two little things on your screen. We've got the champions data predictions, the model, and then we've got reality, chat, and panel. I'll start off with you, Chris. Does anyone else feel like me that every year we have someone cry about the Brownlow, but what is beautiful about the Brownlow is it's poetically inaccurate? Isn't that the beauty of it?
I think we're all just accustomed to it. Like every year, we're just waiting for the next blunder that's going to pop up. And there was a few last year and a few this year. And I think you don't want to take anything away from Matt Rowley. Obviously, had a really nice season. I don't necessarily have an issue with him winning it, but some of the games that he polled votes in were a little bit questionable. And then there was obviously the Naz vote that even the Melbourne table found highly amusing. And I think, that sort of told the story, I guess. But I mean, how unlucky is Nick Dacos? 98 votes in 3 years and not won a Brownlow medal. It's quite extraordinary.
You know the one that gets me when people talk about this, and no one ever mentions it, but for me, the real travesty here, and I don't want to take anything away from Nick Dacos because he's a terrific footballer, right? And he's going to win one, no doubt about it. But no one ever talks about Marcus Bontempelli doesn't get within a cooey of this award. And he's what? He's a 3-time Lee Matthew Trophy winner, 7-time All-Australian, 3-time AFLPA Player of the Year. So by his peers, coaches, everyone says he's the best player in the league. And this guy can't buy a vote, it seems. Like, I think that's the real travesty.
And you look at 25 votes for the Bond. In a lot of years, not that long ago, that would win. So it's interesting with how high the votes have become. I mean, I might get shot down for this, but to see 39 votes for Matt Rowell, is that saying that his year was better than Dusty 2017? Like, I think if you were to compare the pair, you would say probably not. But votes seem to be a lot more easily attainable these days, and the bar's just set a lot higher. It's weird how it's morphed and transformed.
Miss Fiona Brownlow, are you a pro Brownlow girl?
I'm probably pro the umpires doing a better job of it, or someone better doing a better job of it, because some of the votes, and it wasn't just Matt Rowell and obviously Naz who raised my eyebrows, but there were just a few other games where I remember with great awareness that my mind puzzles at how they came to. And can you confirm, do they now see the stats or not?
No
stats. Yeah,
totally blind.
I don't know. I almost think that would help them do a better job. Not in the regards of actually seeing who got the most disposals and automatically giving them 3 votes, but it would just give them a more rounded idea. And maybe not just an overall disposals, or maybe just some select statistics that they get shown, total number of tackles, pressure acts, or, maybe just a select number, because it's all out of whack. And Marcus Bontempelli is the biggest one for me, Pom. It's a great point that you raise. I think he's just wildly underrated. I don't know what the umpires don't see that I see.
Well, you know what? There's 2 things I want to add to that, right? And this is a great one by Bugs Bell. It's the fairest. So I do think there's an element when one of my mates is a massive Geelong man. He was like, Bailey Smith robbed. And I was like, Bailey Smith doesn't shut up calling the umpires a twat in game. I was like, you don't think that reflects on him? Like, if I was an umpire and I've got that floppy-haired idiot calling me a dickhead all game, I'm deliberately not giving him 3 votes. And unless he takes his shirt off, and then you'll see a picture of Bailey a bit later on. May give him 3 if he took his shirt off. But the fairest is important as well, because I think when you say stats, are we not worried that then it would become just like really predictable? Isn't it great? I said this last night. Everything is so predictable in football now because of the leaks, because of people talking. Isn't it actually quite nice that we can watch this and be shocked? Like, we've got something sacred.
I think so. I think it's sort of finally there's a little bit of mystery. As you said, Pom, like there's no surprises really in football anymore. And I think a lot of people would have penciled Nick Dacos in for the Brownlow weeks ago, let alone the morning of the Brownlow. I don't know if anyone in chat listens to Fireball with Kingy and Kane on SEN on a Monday and a Friday, but they had Daniel Hoyne on the show from Champion Data on Monday morning to talk about the Brownlow. And he read out the top 5, as you can see on the screen. And then he threw in an interesting stat as well, that it was something crazy, like the last 18, I could be wrong, but it's roughly around that number, last 18 winners have come top 3 for contested possession in the competition for the year. And the top 3 for contested possession this year across the comp was Tom Green, Caleb Sarong, and Matty Rao. And that's not in the order. He just grouped them together as a top 3. So I was listening to this on Tuesday. So Matt Rao's won the Brownlow on the Monday night, and then the Tuesday, I'm listening to this. And the only person that was in the top 3 for the Champion Data predicted Brownlow and the top 3 for contested possession in the competition across the year was Matt Rao. So that I thought that was very, very interesting. And I just feel for Matt Rao because I think he had a great season. I think a lot of us would look at him and Anderson and maybe think that Anderson had a better year than Rao. But he had a great year. And I think the way that the count sort of unfolded has probably put a cloud over him and his season and what he was able to achieve, which I think is sad for him because I think he did have a great year and clearly a deserving winner.
Teresa is spot on. Sorry to interrupt. Teresa is spot on in mentioning Dustin Martin about are you telling us that he was never a smart ass to umpires and Dane Swan?
He's a mute. He doesn't speak on the field, doesn't speak to anybody.
Dusty maybe, but Dane Swan, I don't think so.
But was he a smart ass to the umpire or to the opposition player?
I think that's a pretty well-rounded assumption that it was both.
Both?
I don't know. I reckon Dane would have been like, "Come on, lads, let's hit the showers and Rebs is on me." And then I'd be giving him 3 votes.
I was listening to Eddie Maguire this morning. He mentioned as a possible solution to keep it within the umpire's control, because that's kind of the mystique about it, I guess. What if they were to, like a lot of footy clubs will come back in on a Monday and do their reviews and things like that. What if the umpires were to then review and rewatch the game with all the data available and then make their call so they're seeing it in totality? Because you see games like even Jack Gunston, and there's been multiple players kick 7 goals, 6 goals in a game and not even get 1 vote. Like, to me, that should be minimum 2 votes. What if they were to review the games in a more, I suppose, closed environment where they can actually analyze it better rather than in real time and it's just the players in front of them and try and get a more accurate outcome that way?
They could do. My only issue with it is Matt Rowell, Patrick Cripps, Lockie Neal are the last 3 winners. And I think all the time we've had people cry about it. And it should be the most magical moment of these players' lives. Do you know what I mean? Like, you've just won an award that on paper, it's almost impossible to win. And like, I don't know if anyone heard yesterday, you had Caro saying she thinks it's unfair that there should be a bronze and silver medal because she'd watched the athletics. She'd watched the athletics, and I was like, can we get this woman off TV, please, for the love of Christ? Like, come on.
Wow.
It's Banterville now. Like, I don't think it needs changing. Like, I'll be open. I'm English. I thought it was ridiculous. When I first came over here, first Brownlow I ever watched, I remember watching it with my old man, and it was the dodgy one, the one that Job Watson was robbed of now Sam the children.
I mean, thank God this is the last round of this, because every week I leave, I go to bed depressed.
I was on your side. I just said he was robbed.
Yeah, but Essendon supporters don't need reminding of that travesty.
Okay, well, I can't help the first fucking Brownlow I watched, to be honest. It's not my fault. You know, I mean, I didn't 10 years ago go, I'm going to put this on just to keep the honour off. You know what I mean? Like,
I just think it didn't need reminding. But anyway, continue.
Yeah, but what I was saying is it was a ridiculous concept to me that you ask umpires to do 3-2-1. I was like, this is a ridiculous thing. But now I kind of think the novelty of it is the novelty. Like, why change it? Like, just because someone's having a little bit of a cry that their boy didn't win it. Like, I think Matt Rowell was well deserving because their midfield has been supreme. So Anderson or him do deserve to win it.
Have you guys seen a lot of criticism of Matt Rowell winning it? I haven't.
I think a lot of people acknowledge he deserved to win it, but there was just some question marks on some of the votes, but it may not have made a difference in the end.
The only reason why there's more complaining each year as we go on is because more people have access to social media.
That's true.
That's why.
Zero. That's the thing. You want the integrity and weekly awards matching the game by the champions who win it and never questioned. Good comment that. And for $5, I do appreciate that. But no, I agree. I think it's a novelty. And I agree with Rat Poison here. It's got a romance into it. Do you know what I mean? But I do think. So I was going to say, I do think some of the votes are warped, but I think that's the beauty of it, that it's flawed.
Yeah, I can't remember whose comment they said that they were a past umpire, but by the end of the game, the umpires don't even give half a shit and they do it quite blasé-ish. But personally, I haven't seen much criticism of Rowell, and yeah, Liam, I think I've curated my timeline quite well. There's not many Carlton or Collingwood supporters in there, so maybe that's just my timeline. But I haven't seen. Well, Essendon supporters aren't whinging about Rowell. We got to face him twice, and he's an absolute star. So I think worthy winner.
Well, we've got a game in our midst. We've got the biggest dance of the year here in Australia. We've got the fantastic Cats versus Brisbane. These are head-to-head. You've got a load of slides tonight to go through, but I'll start with you, Mans. Just there, the face value stats. What are your feelings towards both teams? Obviously, all of us have played them. Some of us have played them twice. What's your vibe on the Lions and the Cats going into this one?
I think that Geelong is the best team in it, and I think they'd be the team to beat on Saturday. My brother and I always look at how these sides line up against our own to judge the best team in the competition. I think that's natural for most fans. And when we played Geelong, Jeremy Cameron kicked a career-high 11 goals and Patrick Dangerfield was eating a kebab on the bench at three-quarter time. So that just shows how far well ahead they are of anybody else that we played. But I think, and just listening to all the commentary and stuff throughout the week, Geelong should have Brisbane covered in most areas. I think the way Brisbane can maybe get through and win the game is scoring off halfback. That seems to be the one way to break through Geelong. And I think that Brisbane have an underrated asset in Dane Zorko. His penetrating kick off halfback, he just bites off more than most can and is centimetre perfect almost every single time. And so I think he could potentially be the biggest game changer for Brisbane on the weekend if there was to be one for the Lions. But despite the fact that Geelong have a few outs and potentially a couple under injury cloud, I'm not worried about them, to be honest. I think they were pretty convincing in the qualifier. And while I think that the game will be closer on grand final day, I'd still back them in to get the job done.
Which stat surprises you the most there, like, Marnie? They're very even, aren't they? When I was doing this, I was genuinely shocked how there isn't much difference in both sides.
There isn't much. And I think that Thanks, Atush. I really appreciate that drive-by. That's so nice of you, in case my life as a North supporter isn't hard enough. I think probably the fact that they go head-to-head, you look at the disposals, I feel like it doesn't surprise me, but it kind of does. I feel like Geelong, they're clearly very methodical in their build-up. They like to take control of the game, whereas I think that Brisbane can be a little bit more chaotic and move the ball and transition really, really well from halfback. I also think one thing to think about is the coach's box. I think these are two of the best, if not the two best coaches in the competition. I think both of them have an underrated ability to change the game in game time as needed. So I think that's going to be really, really interesting as well for me.
It's going to be a fascinating battle. Fiona, what are you looking for in this game out of these two sides? What are you excited about?
Yeah, I was very lucky to go to both prelims and to watch both of these teams live. And I think Geelong have more pizzazz about them and more unpredictability about their players. They're predictable to their teammates, but they can be really unpredictable, some of them to the opposition. Bailey Smith and Brian Myers, they're just so creative, and their outside run is just exceptional. They are there for each other. Okay. Note to self, wardrobe is open to criticism all round for next time. Note to self, right? As I was saying, yeah, so Geelong just have so many weapons, but I think Lions are more dependable. I think when, on turnover, they are really, really good. And I think when they put their heads down and they regain momentum, and they have the ability to really switch momentum, like as soon as Collingwood were biting back or tinkering away, making their move back, they really shut it down. And I think Marnie's right in terms of the coaching ability there. I think Chris Fagan on the boundary really has a big, big say in that. And I think he has direct line to the players on the bench, and you can really tell that it translates straight onto field because they go in, they get really focused, they don't drop their heads. And you would assume that. I mean, I'm assuming these two are the more experienced teams outside of Collingwood in the finals and that have made this grand final. So you'd expect that. But yeah, I think it's going to be a really good game.
Yeah. You've got obviously Chris Scott's brother, Brad. Do you see any similarities in the Scott brothers? Because I find
another drive-by? Just a reminder.
But what I'm saying is, like, it's a fascinating conundrum, isn't it? Because I think Fagan's the most loved opposition coach, isn't he? There's something about Fagan, but I think Scott divides people. I always find Brad Scott the lovable brother. He seems like I'd rather have a beer with Brad than Chris, because Chris looks like he's going to jump through the toilet window and leave me with a tab. I think Brad would go abs with me.
I feel like Chris Scott is almost coming on the bus with me down to to go and rob people's houses. Clearly, I'm endeared to Brad Scott because he's a papa bear when it comes to defending the players and defending his family, in terms of the club and the supporters. So that's what endears me to him. And I think Chris Scott is much the same. And I love coaches who do that. And I mean, this will be no surprise to anybody, but I love the theatrics about the Scott brothers. And I hope finally, I hope the DNA that they share starts to turn in our favour eventually, but who knows?
The Scott brothers, that'd be quite a good battle, wouldn't it, in a grand final? Like Brad versus, that's a great narrative, isn't it? The brothers doing battle in a granny.
I mean, let's win a final first.
I agree. Well, Chris, you've been here, you've done it. You know more than most what finals take. What do you think? Where do you think this battle's going to be won between two sides that have easily played the best football all year?
They have. And if you look at their two most recent games, I think the common denominator is the third quarter. They both piled on 7 goals, I think it was, in their respective games and blew the other team apart. So it's almost like a reset after halftime, re-energized. I don't know what the messages were from both coaches, but that was the difference in both prelims. And that's going to be, and they call it the premiership quarter for a reason, right? So no better place than to see who's going to come out on top in the third quarter than grand final day. What I was impressed with the Cats on the weekend, just with regards to their clearance numbers, they were off the charts I didn't think they were going to win it by that much, but I think they had, I had the number here. Centre clearances, they won 20-5. And, you got the week before, John Newcomb and co, they were doing really, really well. So to blow them out of the water like that, it just sort of shows the talent and class they've got there. But then equally with Brisbane, they've really mastered the art of one out, one in. Like they no longer are reliant upon any individual player to get the job done. But they do have a big call to make this week on Lachie Neale, which will be fascinating, which I'm sure we'll talk about in some capacity. But you've got to give credit to the young lines in particular, like Ty Gallup kicking 3 goals in a prelim. That's a great story. Cam Rayner kicks 2, Bailey kicks 2, Ashcroft kicks 2. It's their tools up forward sometimes still worry me, just how they're going to go on a big stage against a quality opposition, but their mediums and smalls are still good enough to get the job done. And it's no wonder those stats that you've got up there do appear relatively close in a lot of areas, because they are, two of the best teams going around.
Great question from Rat Poison. No Stewart. Do you think Stewart's as big a loss, or do you think that's something that Chris can negotiate? Because I feel like Chris Scott, even when they lost Stewart last week, it looked like on paper they were doomed, wasn't it? But they adapted incredibly well. Guthrie and co handled it incredibly well. I would argue they probably played better.
Do you know what the biggest thing for me would be? Automatically, those of us I was there with were all like, okay, well, this is easy. Blixarves gets pushed back to take Stewart's role and Stanley comes into ruck. But Blixarves was so good around the ground. He was exceptional. And even just his presence, we can only hope our Lockie Lackiston is half the player that Blixarves is, because he was just such a presence and he was everywhere. He reads the ball so well. He goes where he needs to go to help out, little touches, little blocks, little shepherds, little bypasses for his younger teammates. So that's going to be the biggest thing, rather not so much the absence of Stewart, but rather the taking the Blixarves effect away from the entire ground and putting him back. I mean, that's what I think they'll do anyway. Maybe there's another option. What
about Jack Henry? Is he under any injury cloud at all? He looked like he couldn't put any weight on that foot whatsoever. And that's when I thought they were in trouble, when both went off.
Yeah, everyone in the crowd was like, this is over. Like, this is absolutely over. Hawks have won here, because he can't even walk. And he looked distressed. The look on his face, yeah.
He did. Like, he must have been jabbed up. And no doubt they'll do the same. But you have to wonder how sore he might be heading into it as well. But to your point, Fana, the Cats did really well to cover that on the fly. And the Hawks just didn't make the most of it. Like, they started off really well, didn't they? Mitch Lewis got involved early with a couple of goals. But then after that, when they should have been dominating in that area, the Cats adjusted better, and that was the difference.
Yeah.
Well, the team news so far is Jack Henry and Jack Martin are expected to play on Saturday.
Okay. They are known for a late change, though, aren't they, the Cats?
Yeah, but the anticipated ins and outs of Reece Stanley for Tom Stewart, which would play into what Fiona has said, that Blixarves will take that more defensive role. Stanley does a bit more rucking for him. And the rumours are circulating that Neale will play. Jared Berry obviously misses with the injury. So that could be huge. So a couple of donations, $2 from Teresa. Brad versus Chris, winner gets the inheritance. That would be a quality way. Like, honestly, I hope when my time on this earth is done, I can set that up for my kids. Like,
it's like a Money in the Bank wrestling match. I like it.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? Just like a battle. Yeah. One of you wins. And the amazing Moby on BomberBanter, $14.99 sticker. English Pom. It's your native language. But we have got some special things for you. Look, here we are. I went busy. All right? Got busy. So what we've taken 6 matchups, chat. So chat, I want you to think, which player would you rather have? Imagine that we can take them at their prime for 3 years. Which player would you have? But I'll start with you, Mans. 2 defenders, the 2 big guys, Sam de Koning, Harris Andrews. Do you feel like Harris Andrews, who's usually regarded as the best defender in the competition, no one's talked about him this year? But he's been absolutely amazing, but I feel like his limelight's gone a little bit.
He has been amazing. I think with the emergence of Toby Pink, it's hard to really speak about Harris Andrews that well. I think with Harris Andrews, and I think a few of the best players in the competition, unfortunately, become a victim of this. We're so used to them being so good for so long that it's almost that expected output week in, week out. So I personally would take Harris Andrews, despite the fact that Jack Darling towed him up in a quarter earlier this year. That lives rent-free in my head as a North supporter with very few good, positive things going for me.
No.
I would say, yeah, definitely I'd take Harris Andrews. You know what you're going to get, and it's 95% better than the rest of the competition. So, yeah, go Harris Andrews for sure.
Chris, we've got to say, though, if you look at their numbers one-on-one, incredible effort from Sam de Koning. There's obvious things separating them, their intercepts, their ability to play loose, enact on that. But as a defender, Sam de Koning's pretty good in his own right, isn't he? He's a solid competitor.
He's not shabby, and he's probably a bit more dual position than Harris Andrews. But for me, it's that intercept mark stat and the spoil stat that's the difference. I think Harris Andrews took 13 marks last week, and he was just an absolute rock down back. And especially in the last couple of years, I think he's really got it together. There was a point in time prior to that it felt like you could break him a little bit easier and break down the Brisbane defence. Once they overcame that hurdle, he's been an absolute just marshalling the troops to a high degree down there, and he's very, very hard to get past. The one-on-one win percentage is interesting, though, 80% to de Koning to Harris Andrews. I wouldn't have tipped it to have fallen that way, but I still think I agree with Marnie. I would still take Harris Andrews, I think, if you had to pick one.
He's good as Harris Andrews. He's no Dick Wheatering, but he's all right for a guy with 2 firsts.
No Tyler Young for any teams who was trying to take him. Tyler Young equal to Harris Andrews. That's what I'm hearing.
Langy makes a good point. I don't know how I feel about this. 2 surnames.
Yeah, well, true.
We're against 2 first names, 2 surnames. I mean, obviously, Fiona, neither of these are Lockie Blackiston, but both fairly decent. Fairly decent key defenders. This is a great battle, though, isn't it? I think it's 2 real strong big men. But you would have to say, poor Harris Andrews, he's probably got the worst end of the deal. He's going to have to deal with Jeremy Cameron, where de Koning, with all due respect to Logan Morris, ain't Jeremy Cameron, is he?
No, and for example, if Shannon Neal gets off the hook, he's got not much of an easier job with him because he looks just as potent and holds his own just as well. So I actually think de Koning is quite underrated for what he does and the matchups he takes in most games. But I get massive Wiedering vibes from Harris Andrews in that I just feel safe. I just feel safe with them back there as the marshal, strong and safe. So, yeah, it's 3 for 3 taking Harris over here.
Yeah, I think I'm Team Harris as well. Only purely because Sam shares Christmas dinner with that traitor Eco's older brother. So fuck him. But I mean, here's another battle. Here's my favourite battle, and I'll start where I finished with Fiona.
Look at that face.
But I mean, we've got one of the best looking men probably in Australia at the minute.
It's criminal.
Look at him.
You needed to put some sunglasses on him.
I've done him some favours here as well with a little bit of Photoshop work. I tell you, call me Bailey, call me. And we've got the
he doesn't need the help, Pom.
He doesn't, but I've helped him. I've helped him a little bit because, you know, I mean, you've got to stick out for him, haven't you? And Hugh McCluggage, the Scottish handbag, what a man. He's in probably his career best year as well. Really underrated. Yeah. But if you look at the data, Fiona, Not much between the Scottish handbag and Basilenka, as he's affectionately known.
No. I mean, is that surprising? Probably not. This is leaning. I mean, you all know how much I love Geelong, but I think I'm taking McCluggage again. I mean, I can't get around his inside 50s, his ability to, I know Bailey Smith is obviously leading the head-to-head here, but I don't know. There's something about McCluggage's class that I'm just taking. Even though I can't stop looking at that face above you there, Pom. But this is I've got to put that part of me aside and go how the football brain sees it.
He's a character, isn't he, Chris? Bailey Smith, and we don't get many characters in the AFL, and I think he's a very unforgiving character as well. Is there something likable about Bailey Smith? Like, am I the only one? But I feel like the way he's been, his attitude recently, the fact he didn't know Dangerfield won a Brownlow made me laugh. I love the way he was unapologetic about it. But he's a real character, isn't he, Bailey?
He's a character, but I still think there's some dumb shit he's done throughout the year, like the way he treated the photographer and then doesn't want attention but rocks up to the Brownlow with sunnies on. Like, it's somewhat
Servo
amusing,
sunnies as well.
Servo sunnies, a bit Corey Worthington sort of areas it was from Bailey Smith, but both of these players are tremendous. And yeah, Hugh McCluggage, his last couple of games have been phenomenal. I think, this is a really difficult one to pick, to be honest, because both have got such great offensive quality traits. Bailey Smith, his running power, you probably don't expect to see that from someone coming off an ACL, and that was always the big question. Everyone knew he was a good footballer pre-ACL, but how was he going to go afterwards? And he hasn't really missed a beat. I really don't know who I'd pick. I'd probably go Hugh McCluggage, maybe feel like he's a bit more rounded on the defensive side of the game as well, ever so slightly, but both really good at clearances, both good at getting away from stoppage, and you have to pay respect to both players, but they just seem a little bit difficult to tag.
They do. I mean, there's something I don't know. It might be the dad in me. I feel like Bailey just needs a little bit of love. Do you know what I mean? I think he's that kind of guy, isn't he? He's an arsehole, but like you wished he was your arsehole, don't you? Like, that's how I feel. But I have to say, I think he's done a lot of stupid stuff. I do want to commend him. I thought his bit where he talks about his mental health, guy seeking help, it's long overdue. And I think, like, especially having kids myself, usually the people that are preaching male mental health are the kind of guys we had teaching us drug awareness at school, like middle class, upper class yuppies. And we were like, mate, we live in the projects, mate. We're on a council estate. You don't know struggle. I actually think it's quite good that he's openly talking about that. So I can kind of take the good with the bad with Bailey. I think he's a young man, and it's kind of nice to see someone be unapologetically them, as opposed to the vanilla players that we've got in the league at the minute. They're all like choir boys, aren't they? It's nice to see a little bit of arsehole, bit of egotistical nonsense. Like, they are sportsmen after all. They're meant to be the best of the best.
As long as it's banter with the other players and it's not aimed at other people just trying to do their job, I think it's all fair game and it's all very funny.
Mans, who are you taking? Are you taking the Scottish handbag, or are you taking Bailey Smith? I mean, none of these are LDU, let's be honest. Like, bang.
No, but I'm taking Bailey Smith because I will just do anything to make North Melbourne semi-relevant in the media. So Baz would raise our profile a few notches there. So there's my pick.
Would you say that, and I don't want to pick on Geelong because I'm the biggest advocate for Geelong. I think what Geelong do is phenomenal. But it's really understated Bailey moving there. I felt like when Bailey signed with Geelong, no one saw. I thought you could see it coming a mile away. This guy's going to have a year out at the Dogs, go to Geelong, become a superstar. He's slotted in seamlessly. Do you think the media haven't given that as much kudos of how big that deal was? Because it was a no-brainer, wasn't it? He's a fantastic footballer.
Yeah, I think that year out of the game probably and he really like went off the radar completely when he had the year off with his ACL injury. And so I think that time away probably put him in the back of the mind for all of us. I also think we knew he was leaving pretty early on. So I think we probably just, yep, okay, he'll be there next year, whatever, push it to the side. There wasn't a lot of discussion in his year off about him actually leaving. I think we knew it was going to happen early on. We shelved it. We picked it back up trade period last year. He made the move. And Geelong as well, you got to remember, like, they're only an hour out of Melbourne, but they've got their own newspaper. They've got their own news, like radio stations. It's almost like a real hub down there. So for such a big character like Baz in Geelong, where not only is the AFL world following him and the Melbourne mainstream media following him, but you've got, you know, the advertiser and K-Rock and Bay, you know, 93 point whatever, all following him as well. It's like amplified. And so I think that's why this season feels like it's been larger than life with Baz. That's how I see it anyway.
I agree. You know what? I'm big on the. It's hard to pick between these two because they are two of my favourite players to watch. I've just got to give a little bit of love though to the Scottish handbag. To be honest, he's got a great nickname, and I think that shouldn't go too far. But I do love Bailey. Like I do. Even though he stuck his finger at someone doing a job, I think it was very overplayed. That was my read of it. I know it's a bit of a dickhead thing to do, but I keep saying this. The sticking the finger up in Australia has become the new, like, the worst thing you can possibly do. Do you know what I mean? Like,
no, but he also verbally like had some words to her, didn't he? It wasn't just the finger.
Yeah, but yeah. I mean, I think we've seen a lot of people do that before. I think we've got a bit precious. Like, you know what I mean? I think it's silly, but I mean, we go to the two hard men of this side. You got Tommy Atkins, the stopper. These are my two favorite players to watch because these are two guys that entire lives is stopping a good player playing. And I think they're brilliant at what they're doing. You can see by their data as well. They do what they do as well. They also impact the game. But Chris, two hard at it players. Probably one gets the kudos. Dunkley's got the name. Tommy A, rookie, worked his tits off to get to where he is. Both of these guys are going to have a big impact on that midfield battle, aren't they?
It's going to be a massive impact. And like, you just look at their average, like their tackle numbers as well. They're just ruthless and just aggressive. I think in this battle, I would actually take Atkins. But to your point, they both just work so hard, and every team needs players of this caliber. And I think not many teams have A-grade players who can do the role that they do. They're kind of just that rung under. But these two, it's going to be a fascinating battle to see who each of them try and take care of. Who do each of them go to? Who would you think they're going to line up on?
You'd imagine that Tommy, if Neil plays, is straight on him, isn't he? Early doors, testing them.
You'd have to test him.
Out.
Yeah,
testing them carbs out.
If Lockie doesn't play, does he go to an Ashcroft, or does he? Yeah,
I think so.
Because the other player they've got to worry about was Dane Zorko. Like, he had 700 odd meters gained last week, and if they allow him the freedom, I'm not sure whether Atkins would go that deep to sit on him at halfback, but yeah, they could have to shuffle some deck chairs potentially.
I agree. I mean, but Dunkley as well. I mean, you look at him, and these two are two dudes that I think, in a world where we talk about tagging negatively, I feel like Tommy Atkins and Dunkley are them guys that I like to watch because they're beautifully chaotic, aren't they? They blanket you, but they do the unthinkable. And Tommy Atkins, one of my favorite players to watch. Like, that's a Geelong masterclass. I think people talk way too much about Cotton On and all this nonsense. What Geelong are great at is Tommy Atkins, isn't it? It's a guy that everyone else ignored. 2 years in the VFL and bang, this guy is dominant.
Yeah, I think Tommy Atkins just has an insatiable appetite for the contest and to compete. He doesn't care what he's doing. He doesn't care if he's tackling, if he's like shepherding. He will do whatever required, the hard work, and pressure act is one of my favourite stats on the entire stat sheets, and almost 29, averaging 29 is ridiculous, and it just shows how team first he is, and it just mirrors that sentiment that I just said, that he's just more than happy to do the hard stuff, and often doesn't get all the rewards for it, but you can really see that Dangerfield has had the way Dangerfield and before him Selwood played has really rubbed off on a guy like Tom Atkins. So taking him every day.
So can you imagine Tom next to Durham? That would be
and Caldwell.
They'd be the perfect debt collectors, wouldn't they? Them three.
Tell you what, between them, they're the most unconditional players probably in the AFL. I'm probably forgetting a few and being a little teeny weeny bit biased, but it's been a hard month, so everybody give it to me. Yeah, they are the unconditional players are my absolute favourites. This guy here was absolutely one of those, and that's why I've got his jumper up there, because it doesn't matter what needs to be done, they're doing it.
Well, Marnie, you've got your own tough guy at your club, LDU. We know he likes throwing his weight around, and Tommy Powell ain't scared. But who would you take out of these for your wonderful North if you could have anyone?
No disrespect to LDU, but him being tough is news to me, Pom.
He does like his contested ball, doesn't he?
George Wardlaw, yes, and
that's
Luke
very
Parker,
good by
yes.
you, buddy.
I just
I can't believe you've disrespected the hyphen. I was trying to hype him up for you.
I said no disrespect before I made that statement, but I think he could learn a thing or two off Parks and off Georgie Wardlaw. I go Atkins, but I just did want to talk about Dunks, because I think that his two-way running is some of the best in the competition. I just think what he can do offensively and the way he can impact the game offensively is just as brilliant as what he can do defensively. So I'd go Tom Atkins, but I think that, yeah, I just wanted to give a bit of a shout out to Dunks.
And then we got the two sexy players. So we know the midfields work hard, but two guys that benefit from the hard work the last two guys do and play on that like little overlap area. You got Dangerfield and the young buck Cam Rayner, and you can see again, like all the ones we've done today, data-wise, almost identical. But both of these guys, one's come of age, one's coming of age and making good of his promise. Both of these are the finishers of the side. Marnie, which of these two do you like? Because Danger's playing brilliantly. Rayner's having his moments. Big-time players. Both beautiful players, though.
For this specific game, for the grand final, I'm going with Patrick Dangerfield. But if I was including one in my side going forward, I would go for Rayner. Patrick Dangerfield is one of the best players I've ever seen. Absolutely love him. And his preliminary final was just something out of this world. He knows exactly what he needs to do in every situation, just about. And I think with these veteran players, we often forget, yes, they might not look now what they did in their prime, but the discipline and the talent and the know-how to get the job done and know what it takes to be the difference in a game, that never leaves them. And I think Danger's performance over the weekend definitely proves that. So yeah, I'd go for Danger if I was picking one for this game specifically. But I think what Cam Rayner can do and what he is growing to become still for the Lions, he'd be one I'd be looking to implement in the side long term.
We love a bit of Cam. I mean, Chris, I never forget Cam Rayner. Cam Rayner came into the system, and I'll never forgive Cal Toomey. I respect everything Cal Toomey does, but Cal Toomey did it just after the Danger. I mean, after the Dusty, probably the greatest final series we've ever seen, and he akined him as the next Dustin Martin, which I always thought was incredibly harsh because we had 6 weeks of Dusty being nearly perfect, but he's finally coming of age. Do you think Cam Rayner has been under probably the most pressure of any pick one? Because it was only a couple of years ago they were playing him off halfback and trying to redefine his role. He's come through the hard way, and he's had a great final series, hasn't he, old Cam?
He has had a good final series. I guess the biggest knock on him has been his ability to deliver consistently. And as a high pick, you want to be able to play well week in, week out and show your worth. And throwing him around in different spots, I don't think does anyone any favours. But his final series been good. And these two players in particular, in a lot of ways, are both teams' barometers. I mean, I've put my hand up. I've been critical of Danger's finals in previous years. I've always felt like typically he was a better home and away player than a finals player. But that prelim on the weekend, he was next level. That was the kind of danger that I think Geelong have. If they had that level of danger the whole time, they might have jagged a couple more flags along the way. I thought he was that much of a difference for them on the weekend. And just his ability to go forward, he's such an awkward matchup. He's so crafty. He's a good size, beautiful kick of the ball. And the depth they're created with their midfield where they don't need him to go up to the stoppage at every opportunity. It's such a luxury to have. And then Cam Rayner, if he kicks goals early and he gets up and about, it just feels like a bit more energy and spark comes from the rest of the Brisbane forward line in the midfield. He can get dangerous. He's a crafty operator, gets into good positions, hits the packs really well, like rowing front and centre. And I think his impact on the game early will, I think, tell a bit of a story about how the Lions will go on the weekend.
Big game players. We love an impact player, don't we, Fiona? Like, who's your favourite out of these two?
I mean, it was a true honour to stand there and watch Patrick Dangerfield's prelim. His aura was repellent. Hawks they were jittery anywhere near him. And you could see he was captained by Joel Selwood, who, when the going got tough, he just put his head down and said, I am doing the hard yards here and you're all coming with me, just through sheer will. It was superhuman. You could see that his body is aging and it was battered and bruised, but the message wasn't getting to his brain because it was like he had a 20-year-old's body. You never would have known that the message was not getting down to his body because it was a pleasure. And the wonderful thing about Rayner and the exciting thing for the competition and Brisbane fans is I feel like he hasn't even touched on his ability and his ceiling. And I think that's going to be, he's going to make the decision psychologically and mentally for himself. How far can he go now and how great can he be? Because I think he's definitely got the potential. And as Chris said, the consistency probably needs to start bridging that gap more and more. So, but taking Dangerfield, yeah, absolutely. It was a remarkable performance. So enjoyable to watch.
You know what? I might be crazy. I'm Team Rayner here. I don't know. I don't know if it's because I've never forgiven Dangerfield for COVID and him telling me he's a man of the people and then he'd spent $500,000 on a fucking kwai farm so he could fish. And as a man of the people, a working class man like myself, I can never forgive you for that. You can't tell me you're working class and then got yourself a fucking private fishing pond. Come on, grow up, mate. But in seriousness, there's something about Cam that I just really like. I like the fact he's playing with. It was a couple of years ago, I felt like he was going to be lost to the game. He looked like he had the weight of the world on his shoulders, but it's great to see him back out there, a bit of swagger. I like the fact he's getting stuck in, but we go to the bigs next, and this is a harsh comparison, but Logan Morris, his first Bigs final series, he's really come alive. He's taken on that mantle of Danaher. Many people said they couldn't go back to back, and he's done everything he can, staggering 2 goals a game this year as a young kid. Jeremy Cameron, we know he's great. There's no argument about it, but this is a fascinating battle, isn't it, Marnie? Young versus old. And Morris has done incredible, hasn't he? He's had some big shoes to fill. At the start of the year, everyone said Danaher was going to cost Brisbane. And Morris has stepped up, hasn't he? And I don't think they miss him as much as they thought.
No, he's been fantastic. No Danaher, no Hipwood, and Logan Morris just is getting the job done. I think he's had a great year, and he's been unreal for Brisbane. And then in the last sort of 6 weeks, when you see Gallop enter the frame as well, it's a really, really nice 1-2 punch. Having said all those nice things, I take Jeremy Cameron still. Love that guy so much. So much.
It's a tough comparison. It is a tough comparison, but I had to pick a forward, and I was like, yeah,
you've done him dirty. You've done him dirty there.
Yeah.
Stupid Jeremy. But Fiona, Jeremy Cameron, I think everyone on this panel has seen this this dirtbag kick snags on them. He's a little bit of a moment player, isn't he, Jeremy Cameron, as well? Because I was watching him the week just gone, and you kind of sometimes think he's not going to do anything. And then it's that 5-minute spell he can tear a game open, can't he? He's very dangerous man, isn't he, Jeremy Cameron?
Yeah, he can for a hot minute he can look like he doesn't really care, or he's just shutting around the farm looking for his chooks, like he just dawdling on the ground somewhere, but then he'll pop up and do the unthinkable. But I must say, I didn't expect Logan Morris to have as much strut as he does. He was taking marks and doing the whole, like, the steely glazed eyes and the staring the defenders down on the weekend, and I really rated that. So just for that little bit of attitude, I'm gonna go Logan Morris.
There is something great, isn't there? I like Cam Rayner, what I was saying earlier, seeing a young player have the balls to be a bit arrogant. Like, I enjoyed that last week. Logan Morris giving it the big I am on the biggest stage. Even Ty Gallop did as well. He did that mark where he stood over the defender, and I was like, this is brilliant to see, like, that belief in themselves.
Yeah, it was impressive. He did it multiple times. I thought the first time, he's just trying to convince himself, and that's okay. But then he did it a couple more times, and I was like, I rate this. You know, it's easy to be overawed in front of when you got Darcy Moore and Howe and the likes, very experienced players down there. So I definitely rated it.
Chris, you've got Tom Lynch there. Would it be fair to say I watch Logan Morris quite a bit? He reminds me of a GWS. He reminds me of a Gold Coast Tom Lynch, the way he moves. Like, he has that uncanny ability to work 65 out and really stretch defenders.
He's a pretty special prospect. You got to give him full credit for the year that he's had. Like, his second year to shoulder the load of the reigning premiers, when really, like we all said, I don't think anyone thought he could actually do it in the absence of Hipwood and Danaher. But here we are. What did he kick? 50-odd goals this year. It's a monster return. And I guess that's a combination of him playing well and having a really good and functional midfield to deliver the ball to him. But he just keeps remaining ultra competitive. And I think that's all you can ask. And he's only going to get better. I mean, if I was to pick one, it's really hard because Cameron's obviously a superstar. But if I was picking one for Richmond right now with the growing list, there would be a temptation for Logan Morris to sort of lead the charge. But I mean, Jeremy Cameron, he just makes goal kicking look so easy. When he gets it, the kicks are effortless. He's got his routine down pat. He's floating down back now. He's working up both ends of the ground. I did find that there was a comment in chat earlier about him maybe not stepping up so much in big games. I think that's a really interesting point and one to take note of for this weekend. It's obviously the biggest of biggest stages, and he's going to want to be front and center of that. So will the Cats try and look for him specifically early to get him on the scoreboard, get his confidence and mojo up? Not that he needs a confidence boost, but to get him feeling good about himself in a big-time game, and then he'll sort of roll on from there. But he can change the game in a matter of moments, just from kicking goals anywhere. But Logan Morris, hats off to him. He's had a ripper year. And it will be interesting to see how he goes next year with, Oscar Allen heading up there, Draper's heading up there, Hipwood comes back. So what he does next year will be fascinating.
Great question from Teresa. Where does Allen play? Do you think that's just simple that Hipwood gets buoyed off? It does feel like that's I feel like Hipwood is kind of just that medium tier, isn't it?
Yeah. You're taking Allen over Hipwood every day of the week. Like, I've no disrespect to Hipwood, but I've not really ever rated him as a second forward. And yeah, if Oscar Allen's the other option, I think Hipwood might struggle to get back in because they will have a few tools. They've got the Big O, they've got Darcy Fort. I'm not sure if Oscar Allen will do any type of ruck work around the ground at all, there might not be a need to. But if you're going forward for forward, I think you're taking Oscar over Hipwood.
Atush, you playing him right mid or striker, mate? But if you're playing him right mid, 100% off the right wing in a 4-3-3. Forget about it, mate. Forget about it. But we have one more matchup. It isn't the grand final without your supreme small forwards. And you've got two guys that probably aren't in the form of their lives, which is weird. But if there was ever two players that you feel could have a big game and take out the best on the day, it's these two. And very similar seasons as well, not at their best, particularly Cameron has been way down. But Fiona, I've got this horrible feeling if Brisbane win it, Cameron's been my pick to win the Norm Smith. He's been poor in the finals, but he is that type of guy, isn't he? That just on that day, you can see him having a 4-goal game.
Yeah, absolutely. And possibly being the difference to actually winning the grand final in the end. But I can't overstate how disappointing he's been over this final series. For an experienced guy in amongst, we've just talked about some young key forwards down there. He needed to absolutely do much better. And he's just lucky it hasn't cost Brisbane a chance to actually play off in the grand final. So I must say I did berate Stengel in the first quarter for doing sweet F all game. And since I did, and from the minute I did that, he then stepped up and got busy. So, oh gosh, this is really tricky because I think Stengel can be a bit conditional with his defensive efforts at times. And I think I've just very much disliked Cameron's final series. Oh, God, who are you taking? Oh, all right, let's go Stengel just to even out my choices tonight, balance out.
It's a tough one, isn't it? It is a tough one. Marnie, like small forwards. Would you say it's fair to say that aside from Curtis, small forwards is probably an area that you'd love to have a jet small forward? At North?
We have Jacob Constanti and Zach Bench. I don't know what you're talking about. Zach Bench was robbed for Mark of the Year, by the way.
Oh, no.
Identical mark to Darcy, except he actually marked it. He also risked his life for the jumper with that mark. He broke a rib, was out for 3 weeks.
Bonus points.
I'm clearly not salty. I'm clearly over it. I think at North you'd probably be looking at just about every position to improve on, Pom. You're sitting there 16th on the ladder. It's a nice life down here. Anyway, back to these two though. I'd go Cameron. Grand final week's so hard, guys. I love the football so much, but God, my team's so shit. And we have been for so long.
I feel you, Marks.
I feel you, Marks.
That's what we're all doing here, isn't it? So apologies.
We've got the sprint to look forward to, the grand final sprint. We've got some representation. Is that still a thing?
Oh, God.
It is,
We'll probably fall over in that too.
It is, but it's pants. But, I mean, Chris, you've had some beautiful small forwards in your neck of the woods, Richmond. Which of these two... These two blokes would you love to see?
Well, we had Tyson Stengel. He started with us his career, and it just didn't pan out for him. Charlie Cameron, I feel like, can ignite a lot more than what Stengel can, but you got to respect Stengel's hustle to get himself right and in this Geelong lineup and having an impact. I think he had 3 goals last week, and to Fiona's point, Charlie's just been off this whole final series, hasn't he? It makes you wonder if he's carrying a niggle or something, and he's just banking on being an 80% fit Charlie Cameron's better than what is next in line to come in potentially. But he's the kind of player that on a day like grand final day, he could pull 4 or 5 goals out of his ass and win a Norm Smith potentially. So I think for the Tigers now, I'd probably take Charlie Cameron only because we've already had Stengel. So we'll go the other one.
Do you think that, the beautiful story of Stengel, isn't it, is that he obviously had where he was caught in possession at Adelaide. The AFL handed out probably the biggest suspension we've ever seen for anything drug-related. He was banned from all forms of football for 12 months. He's come over to Victoria again, starting at Richmond, as you said, turned his career around, ended up with a Norm Smith, being a model professional. It doesn't get talked about enough that we're so quick in this society, aren't we, to stamp people out, cancel them, ban them forever. But Stengel is like the pillar of what is possible with a little bit of love, a little bit of ramifications, a little bit of guidance, and you can find yourself right back on the doorstep. And he could find himself a 2-time flag winner, couldn't he, in a couple of days?
He could, and I think I think this is what the draw card is for players to go to Geelong, as was mentioned earlier, because it's like its own little hub. They're very protective of their own players. So nothing will get reported about. They're all very welcoming and loving and looking after their own. So you can kind of just do your own thing and not worry about too much of the outside noise. And I think players who are trying to get themselves back on track, like what Stengel was, really need and appreciate that. And he seemed to flourish in the Geelong system. So I think he had Eddie Betts as a mentor for a while as well. I mean, what better small forward could you have as a mentor in the last 5-10 years? He could have one more big game left in him this weekend.
Could be huge. Moby wasn't a pot shop at Essendon, mate. I'm too big for that. I meant individual. People forget Matty Crouch was involved in that as well, and he got the lesser suspension, although it was Tyson's second offence, but it was disproportionate. And as of yet, we haven't seen anyone be punished to the extent that Stengel was for recreational drugs. But yeah, great story from Stengel. Good to see him out there. But you know what, chat? I'm famous for my games around these parts. And I want to ask you a question, right? Chat and the beautiful panel. What is the most important part of the grand final? Like, open question. What's the most important part that we all enjoy talking about?
Well, probably the halftime show. Was that one of the important things?
There it is! Oh, my Chris. So it wasn't play for hands, so let's do it.
It wasn't. I was just taking a guess.
Let's do it. Dear. Sometimes I'm brilliant. So what we're doing, chat, right, is a proper game show. So chat, your help here is you're going to help these guys. They're all in a competition. So every game show needs a buzzer. So Fiona, what noise is your buzzer going to be?
This is too much pressure, Pom. I'm starting to sweat behind the knees.
You just got to fucking make a noise for me. I'm sure you pretended to make noises before.
No, I was just forced. This competition, the competition is.
Okay, well, I need a buzzer noise. What noise?
Okay, beep, beep.
Fantastic. Tell you what, you're imaginative. Marnie, help me out.
I'm tired.
Kanga.
Oh, roo. And Chris, what is your noise going to be?
Raw. A raw like a tiger. There you go.
Okay, cool. Right, so this is the game.
We could have just done our names, couldn't we? Jeez.
We could
Exactly. Why are you making us think more than we need to?
Because I'm gonna read a question out, and I'm gonna whoever I hear first gets the chance to win a point. Right. So what we're going to do is we're going to give you song lyrics. I'm going to read them out, and to make it easy for you, we'll give you a clue if you don't get it straight away. You'll get a point. So this is music, and there's no rhyme and reason to it, but they are popular songs that I have made sure by running it through, Australians will know. Okay? So I will read you a song lyric. When you're ready, if you don't know, we'll go to another clue, so on, so forth. So you ready? Are we all ready?
I like Shane's suggestion, buzzing as Berwick.
Hey, mate, we can't talk about that for legal reasons, mate.
Very good.
Legal reasons, mate.
I think Shane means Buick, doesn't he? As in Buick, because you have to confirm that.
Yeah, maybe I jumped the gun to assume Berwick. Maybe it's Buick. All right.
We got them. We got them excited. So you ready? Right, you ready for your first one, chat and everyone? We can't sing them because if I sing them, it makes it easy. I've had to practice not singing them as well.
Did you say these are Australian songs?
No, they're songs that Australians will know because I've checked to ratify all of these have been heavily in your
Can
charts.
I ask you, are they
Stop distracting. Let's just go with the game.
Okay. Lyric number 1. Your hands fit in mine like it's made just for me, but bear this in mind. It was meant for me.
Kanga.
Marnie. I knew you'd get this.
Little Things by One Direction.
Ah, Marnie. Marnie, she's off the board. Marnie, 1 point. So Marnie, 1 point in. Okay, well done.
Can you just give me a -5 for this game? Because
play along. Look, well done, Lachlan, as well. Good work, mate. Good work, mate. Good work. Right. Number 2. Ignoring everybody here, wish they would disappear, so maybe we could get down now.
No. Is there a clue?
Okay. Next clue. He's ginger and English.
Okay. Well,
Beep.
Yeah.
Is it Ed Sheeran? Is that? Oh,
Yeah.
I don't know the song though. That I just heard the ginger in English, and do I get half a point? I'll take it.
You know what? I'll give you a point, Fiona, because it's our last show before Christmas, so Christmas thing. Hey, Lachlan. Lachlan, bro. Mate.
Grok's good.
Hey, Lachlan's just all over this. I love it.
Grok,
Well
if you could text me quickly the answers, we'll make this work.
Hey, this is good. Okay, number 3. I've never seen you looking so gorgeous as you did tonight. I've never seen you shine so bright. You were amazing. Yeah?
Is that Rihanna song?
No.
Oh, okay. I don't know the name of the song. I just heard Shine So Bright.
Yeah.
Is it Amazing?
No. Chris?
I'll say Raw, Lady in Red, because everyone's written it in chat.
Yes!
And I hope to get a point for it.
How many guesses do we get? Like, can we re-guess?
You're out until you've all done it. You're out until you've all had a guess. Right. Because you know what's annoying about that, Fiona? That one was for you. Because my clue for that one was I may have sung it to you at the Twix Awards.
Wouldn't have got it, even if you said that to me. Sorry.
Fucking, you know what? Fuck you. Right,
I'm
okay.
So sorry.
Question
I'm so sorry. Do you know how much has happened? I've probably had like 11 hours sleep since the Twix low has occurred because my club is falling, is on fire. So I don't remember anything. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I agree. I agree, Scooter, mate. This is a proper Ben Hobbs midfield performance at the minute.
Wow! Wow! I don't know who should be more offended, Hobber or me, in that situation.
So number 4. Some days it don't come easy. Some days it don't come hard. Some days it don't come at all.
The answer's not coming today at all.
I'm no good without the tune behind it.
Me too.
People in the chat are good at it, though.
They are.
Okay, your clue is this guy may have given the worst grand final halftime ever.
Beep. Meatloaf? Meatloaf. And somebody give me the name, goddamn. Come on, Lachlan.
Lachlan's on it. I'd do anything for love.
Yeah, well done. Okay, number 5. You should get this one.
I think Lachlan's winning.
Lachlan, tell you what, mate. You're welcome around my house. We love
just
these type of
a
games.
fact on Lachlan. We've run 2 quizzes in the entirety of doing the top, maybe even 3. He is undefeated in all different genres, whether it's football, music, general knowledge.
Wow.
King Lachlan.
Yeah.
Genuinely, Lachlan killing it. But here we are, right? Everyone should get this. This is a disgrace.
Oh, here we go.
Get this.
Shit.
Well, you work to earn a living, but on weekends comes the
Kanga. Up there, Kazali by Mike Brady.
Oh,
it's the best moment of every grand final. That's my favorite part of the grand final every year.
It's my favorite too. It's my favorite. When 6, I was going to put that in, but I quote it way too much on my Carlton previews and reviews. So I was like, people might get it. Okay, here we are, right? Clock strikes upon the hour and the sun begins to fade. Still enough time to figure out how.
Kanga.
Yeah.
Somebody to love.
I know this song. It's I want to dance with somebody, Whitney Houston. This is my jam. This is my jam. That's my dance. I'm on the dance floor.
Love you to love, but
I'm the last one on there when that song plays.
Well done,
it's a
Fiona.
dual, that's a dual effort.
I snuck that in there for Fiona as well. She got it. Okay, this one should be.
I know you did.
This is iconic. Ready? Working hard to make a living, bringing shelter from the
working class man, Jimmy Barnes.
Chris, you see, look, I made sure I got some in for everyone's genre. Okay.
I see what you've done here.
Yeah, I've tried to be good. I've tried to be good. Okay, so slide over here and give me a moment. Your moves are so raw, I've got to let you know.
I know that I can hear the song. I cannot tell you the song.
Might be.
I would also like an S Club 7 question too.
Kanga.
Yeah.
In excess. I don't know what
is.
the song is, so I'm just
It
reading.
is. I need you tonight. Well done. So halfway stage, 3 points Marnie, 3 points Fiona, 2 points Chris. All to play for. Okay, now this is where it gets a little bit harder and a bit more niche. May I kick a little something for the G's and make a few ends as I breeze through? 2 a.m, and the party's still jumping. Just so you know, this was fucking hard. Yeah.
Oh no. No, I don't think. Can I unbeep? I don't. That's not my guess.
You just suffer from premature beep ejaculation there. Happens to the best of us at this time of night.
I thought it was Destiny's Child, but
no. The clue
that was a little too niche for
Kanga.
Yeah.
It's Snoop Dogg.
It is
Gin and Juice. Thanks, chat.
Can I just say, do you know how hard it was to find a song lyric that I could safely say? It took me ages without using the chorus as well. I was like, can't say that. Okay, right. This is a girl question. So if Chris gets this, I'm going to be so proud of him. It feels like a perfect night for breakfast at midnight to fall in love with strangers. So proud of myself that I didn't sing it.
No.
Beep.
Yeah.
Is this a Taylor Swift lyric?
It is. What is the song?
22.
Oh, you're good at this, Fiona. Well done.
No, I'm not. Thank you, Tiger Time. I love you.
Okay, right. This should be everyone's favorite dance club song, right? My tummy's turning and I'm feeling kind of homesick. Too much pressure and I'm nervous.
Kanga.
Roo.
Party in the USA by Miley Cyrus.
Mons.
I like sing it in my, like I know the lyrics. If I know it, then I just like sing it in my head. And
can I just say I've ruined my afternoon because I've had all these songs stuck in my head, right? Because I played them over. Okay, right. Ready? Let's roll on to something new. Taking its toll, then I'm leaving without you.
I know it, and I just can't think of what it is.
Well, Wayne, while they think November, we are having a PommyinOz meetup, so we might have to slip in to Rebs. But give you a clue.
Beep,
Jack Rewalt.
The Killers. Somebody told me.
Well done. Okay, so it's 5-5-2. Chris, you need to.
I'm taking absolutely no credit. Chat, you are getting all the credit.
I think chat's
okay. So we got 3 left. There's a chance for Chris to break even, but here we are. Right, son, I've made a life out of reading people's faces,
Roll.
knowing what the
gambler Kenny Loggins.
Slovak, he's coming back. Okay, 14. She was a fast machine. She kept her motor clean. She was the best.
Shook me all night long. AC/DC.
Chris.
Here he goes. Jeez.
Here we are.
Coming
You ready?
home strong. He's coming
Oh,
home
my-
strong.
He's coming home like
Come
fucking
on.
Dustin Martin in the fourth. Right, here we are. Breaking up is never easy, I know, but I have to go. This time, I know.
Kanga, Kanga, Kanga. Should I stay or should I go?
No. I'll give you a clue. Outside of porn, this is what Sweden's famous for.
Kanga, Kanga, Kanga.
Beep.
I've said it
No,
already.
beep.
Yeah, next
ABBA.
Yeah.
I know it's
It is.
ABBA. Because of the
It is
Swedish.
ABBA.
I heard you say Swedish. I don't know the song, but knowing me, knowing you.
Well, there we are. Look, on the first ever music quiz, the winner is Fiona with 6 points, Manny with 5, and Chris 4.
Well done, Fiona.
Oh, Fiona.
I mean, does it count if I use the chat? Does it count even if I use the chat more than I probably used my own brain? But the Whitney Houston one was mine. I got that. I know that because that's
Well
my
done.
jam.
Look, your reading was exemplary, and I'm very proud of you.
Well done, guys. That was great.
Well done, Pom.
Hey.
Good effort.
Good fun.
They are, look,
Well
Essendon.
done, Chad, as well with the
That
answers.
was
Chad was
awesome.
smashing it.
We won something in September. Yes, the
Yeah.
Red and Black family.
Essendon may be bad on the field, but off field they are setting standards.
Chef's kiss, as I say.
Zach Merritt, if you're watching that, that's the standard. That's the standard we expect.
And it wasn't me in your garden bush, in your front bush this afternoon. It wasn't me.
It wasn't Fiona singing Dance with Somebody at 3 a.m. when you're trying to get a sleep. But chat, that is all we've got time for. As always, it is a pleasure. If you do like this kind of show, make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, make sure you give some love to your content creators, because if you want this to return next year, it will be a numbers game, as always. If it's something you want, I'm sure we'll endeavour. I've been PommyinOz. We've had the wonderful Fiona. We've had the wonderful Marnie. And we've had the wonderful Chris from BigFooty Tigercast. Enjoy your grand final week. Enjoy the rest of the year. And we will see you all very soon. Much love, everyone. See you soon.
Have a good
Bye,
weekend,
everyone.
everybody.
Bye, guys. Enjoy.